involved. Of course, from my perspective, everybody's young now. So even my friend back there, who I just want for the record to know that PFAS has not yet affected certain people here in the way that you mentioned. I want to make sure I certify that. But look, we want less plastic use. We don't want to create junk that we don't need and clog storm drains and other essential equipment, destroying cars, et cetera. I get the big picture here. But if this can already be done at the local level and so enthusiastically and effectively, I'm not sure I understand. Call me a libertarian. Why the state should be micromanaging this when each municipality can do it however they want, working with their businesses. Landon, I think Landon, right? Correct the name. What's the fine under the ordinance in Lavallette? What's the fine in the local ones you've done?
So we start off with a pretty heavy fine, and then with working with our town council, we lowered it. We started off initially with 500 before it was passed. I believe we eventually reduced it to warnings for the first two.
Okay.
For the first two where they find that they're not adopting it. And then for the third offense, that's when we've introduced what I believe is a $50 to $100 fine. So we're not trying to hurt restaurants in any way. We've gone back to restaurants, we've spoken to them. They're saving money as demonstrated. We've seen that customer satisfaction has gone up, and they are not increasing prices because of giving utensils. They're saving money because they're eliminating the automatic inclusion. And it's really simple. If you don't want a utensil, you don't get one. If you do, you just have to ask for it.
And you're speaking my language. You're going the right direction. So you were involved in the implementation of this in Lavallette.
Yes.
So how many restaurants had those first two warnings? How many fines did have to be assessed? It must have been some, I'm assuming. And I'm also assuming the scenario is they got people going crazy during dinner and the person doesn't ask and they throw it in because the last four wanted them. Were there plenty? Was there a real educational aspect of this over time?
So far, there has been 0 fines given out. So in Lavallette specifically, we are a shore town. So in my campaign, we focused on all year-round restaurants. That was 6 restaurants. There are additional ones that are not year-round, but they are all included underneath the ordinance. Okay. We recognize, I work in a restaurant, and that's how the idea came to me. We recognize that it's really a change of behavior, especially with the people that are physically packing the to-go orders. That's why we have people like myself going around and educating and include that you don't get fined for the first 2 ordinances, because we understand that it is a shift of behavior, but it's a very easy shift of behavior where we see you can train employees very simply on it. I've trained employees. I've gone to other restaurants that I don't work at, and I've educated them as well. It's a very simple and easy shift.
Got it. Wonderful. And again, very articulate answers.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job here. Glad you don't live in my district. But now you're speaking my language. So you said you first went with a heavy fine and then backed it off to warnings and then small fines. And you mentioned a heavy fine is $500.
So I wrote the ordinance myself without any additional background on ordinances. I then went to my town council and spoke to some members on the side and recognized that that isn't feasible. That was me being aggressive and naive, as at the time when I started the process, I was 13 to 14 years old.
Recognizing potential government overreach and backing off.
Yes.
We need you in Trenton. We absolutely need you in Trenton. However, are you surprised to know that the first time offense under this bill, you said 500 was crazy a little bit, right? The first time offense under this bill is $1,000. The second one is $2,500. Now, you hope that doesn't happen, but this will affect small business. There's going to be a few that are going to screw up. These are small mom and pop shops. $1,000 is going to crush them. We're going to get the calls. $2,500, you say, are you trying to put us out of business? That is one big problem. One of the reasons why I'm going to vote no on the bill today, because the supporters themselves have said even $500 is too much. The idea is to change behavior, not punish these people. This bill will. And there's thousands. Go ahead. Okay, sorry, but again, we go to 1,000 and then $2,500 pretty quickly. And again, there's going to be times people are going to be throwing stuff in, and not purposefully, but we want to change their behavior, not destroy their bottom lines. So I got a problem with those fines, and I would much rather go, Landon, with your prescription. Another question I have: the way the bill is written, it says that they can't give utensils out unless asked. That's pretty specific. does that prohibit the restaurant from proactively asking the person doing your ordering if they want utensils? No. Okay, that's out. No one's been able to give me a straight answer on that. And can they? So I got a few issues that I hope we can correct, because I'd like to get to yes. I want to dissuade this, but this seems draconian to me. And clearing up whether we should proactively say, unless they request or unless they respond to request affirmatively, that really covers that gray area. So I can't back it for those reasons. I want to get there, but this goes too far, as many things in Trenton do. So love the representation, totally for it. I have a lot of these in my junk drawer, I agree, but I think there's a better, less overhanded way to do it. So thank you guys, appreciate it.
Thank you, and thanks to everyone on the panel. I appreciated your comments and tried to listen intently. I do have some, I guess, an intellectual conundrum, because if I hear everybody correctly, and the young man who drafted the ordinance, your comments were exceptionally well delivered, and obviously they're doing a good job teaching environmental concerns in school, and obviously you paid attention, which then I have a difficult time reconciling why schools are exempted from the plastics requirement. To the gentleman who's turning into a plastic human being, you know, we're talking about healthcare concerns, and presumably if you're in the hospital, it's because you already have a health issue, yet we've exempted hospitals from the same requirement. And of course, last but not least, let not the state exempt itself for those that are incarcerated or in prison. We've exempted those as well. So I guess it ends up falling on the shoulders, as these regulations usually do, on small businesses to comply. And we talked about, you know, the change of behavior. I guess the only behavior that we're not seeking to change is our own. For all the reasons that Declan mentioned, and this issue that I can't seem to come to terms with as I grapple with it, I'm likely going to be a no to.
Any further questions for the panel? Senator Ruiz.
Is there anyone else?
That's it. You want the
Right.
panel? Okay, well, panel, thank you for your testimony. Thank you, everybody, for your testimony and your patience. Comment, and then we'll vote.